Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Chris, and welcome back to ManicManiac Predicts. The NFL football season is week 4. I would like to apologize ahead of time. I am sick, very sick, so I'm not going to be able to give a lot of energy to this episode at all. Probably not a lot of analysis either, but anyways, let's move on to the predictions from last week. Let's see how I did. I'm going to give this one to the Redskins. I gotta give this one to the Falcons. So I'm going to give this one to the Colts. The Raiders are going to be the winner, no doubt about it. I'm going to give this one to the Bengals. I gotta give this one to the Patriots. I gotta give this one to the Panthers. I gotta give this one to the Jets, but I'm not going to be surprised if the Eagles get their first win of the season. This is the one game that I think will go to the Texans. I gotta give it to them, but the Steelers are the easy pick. I think the Cardinals are going to win it. Absolutely. I'm giving this one to the Dolphins. I'm giving this one to the Seahawks. Broncos are going to take this one. I'm giving it to the Packers. So 13-3 for week 4. That's not bad at all. That's a good rebound from my 5-11 way last week. 13-3 with only getting wrong. The Giants win, the Bills win, and what was the other one? I'm gonna forget now. The Eagles win. Yes, so good for the Giants, good for the Bills, not so great for the Jets. So those are my 3 favorite teams. So, so it all came at the expense of my teams. 2 for the good, 1 for the bad, but that's alright. 27-21 thus far this season in terms of predicting. Again, not where I wanted to be at, but at least a good rebound from last week. 13-3, very good. This week is going to be very hard to predict. I went through my predictions. I'm probably going to get half of these wrong. This is going to be bad. A lot of on-the-edge predictions as well. But first, before we actually get to this week's predictions, time for our new segment, Take a Break, even if you haven't earned it. With the New England Patriots and the Tennessee Titans, definitely the Patriots have earned it. They've gone 3-0, and they get to take a break this week. They do not need to face anyone. They get to rest up and go into week 5 against the Cowboys, all rested up and ready to go. The Patriots have been playing very well. I won't be surprised if this is going to be another 2007 season, but of course we say this now, and who knows what can happen down the road. Looking at the Tennessee Titans, on the other hand, Marcus Mariota has been playing great, but the rest of the team around him, not so much. That's where the Titans are at right now, 1-2. Hopefully they can come back, and be strong. And I forget who they are facing. They're facing the Bills after this. That should not be fun for them. So we'll see what happens. They're 1-2, taking a break this week. Hopefully they'll be rested up and be able to take Buffalo at their home stadium. Alright, on to this week's predictions. Thursday Night Football, Ravens against the Steelers, and this is a tough one because now Steelers have just lost Big Ben, and that's a huge part of their offense. However, they still have Le'Veon Bell, they still got Antonio Brown, so they still got a lot of weapons. On the other side, Joe Flacco's offense has been very slow for the start of this whole season. I mean, you gotta admit, losing to Terrell Suggs on defense wasn't a huge loss because the defense really what kept them in the game against the Bengals, but their offense has just been very slow to get started, and against the Steelers, I don't really know how well the Ravens can do, but I am going to give it to the Ravens because this is a must win for them. They need to win this game. The Steelers, losing Big Ben was a huge loss. I don't think Michael Vick can really fill that void for them. Even with all the great offensive weapons for the Steelers, I think the Ravens defense will be a very key part of the Ravens win here. On to the Jets against the Dolphins. I forgot to change the name of this on my PowerPoint. It's actually not PowerPoint, it's OBS, but it's a presentation. Whatever, who cares? It is the Jets against the Dolphins. It's our first of 3 international series games at London. This I gotta say, I think the NFL really screwed up here because I think that putting a divisional matchups outside of a team's home stadium, it's not fair. I think the Dolphins really got bit in the ass for this one because you need that home advantage if you're facing a divisional opponent, because the Jets are going to be able to get theirs when the Dolphins come to MetLife. So I don't really understand why the NFL did that. I get that the Dolphins, they're going to London all the time, they have this contract, but they could have probably gotten a better opponent over there. That would just be so much better. I don't know. You could really just take a grab bag at any of the opponents and just be like, yeah, this is the one. So let's bring them. So I don't know. I think it's a little bit bullshit for the Dolphins to have to be here at the stadium and losing their home advantage, because that's really something they really need in times like this where they're 1-2 and they're just not looking good. Joe Philbin, not a good coach at all for this team. And I think the Jets, even though they lost last week to the Eagles, they'll fix their mistakes and hopefully come back and win it all. So I'm going to say the Jets. I'm going to say the Jets win this one. I mean, yes, the Dolphins, they have all these great pieces, but they don't know how to use them, and it's very bad right now for the Dolphins. I don't think they're going to get this one here. Hopefully, in future weeks they'll be able to get a win or two. All right, Jaguars against Colts. This is an easy one for me. The Jaguars got dropped a 50 burger on them by the Patriots, and the Colts got better this past week. They weren't great still. They almost lost to the Titans, and somehow they were able to come back and win it. I'm going to give it to the Colts. No doubt about it. The Colts are going to win. If the Jaguars beat them, then the Colts really will need to worry. Alright, this is a once in 4 years matchup here. The Giants and the Bills. The reason I'm so hyped about this matchup is these are my top two favorite teams. I love the Giants more than the Bills, but I love the Bills too. I really hope that the Bills can make the playoffs this year, because they're right now my only hope. I look at both teams, and just the Bills are so much more put together than the Giants right now. I know the Giants they looked better, a little bit better during the Thursday Night Football, but that game was so bad at the same time, so you can't even go off of that. The Bills they're such a great team right now. They're really doing well. The Patriots, even though they tore into them in week 2, they're still a good team. They beat the Dolphins really well. They beat the Colts really well. I think they can beat the Giants really well. The Bills are going to win that one fair and square. Panthers against the Buccaneers now. It took me a little while to figure out who I wanted to pick here. But I gotta admit, getting Jared Allen now for the Panthers. If you haven't heard, the Bears traded Jared Allen to the Panthers for a 6th round pick. That's huge. A huge acquisition for the Panthers. I think that this is I mean, you gotta admit that the Panthers needed some sort of pass rush after getting an injury to a few other players. Luke Kuechly is still out too. Like, it's ridiculous. So the Panthers needed that. That defense just got so much better. I have to give it to the Panthers right now, but I would not be surprised if the Bucs take it, and hopefully they can, because the Bucs need a win at home. All right, on to the Eagles against the Redskins. Oh man, the Eagles finally got a win, and everyone's already back on the hype train, right? Not necessarily. I wouldn't hype the Eagles still, because their offense is still needs some work. In the last half of that Jets game, the Eagles scored 0 points. They got all 24 of the points in the first half, and then just declined in the second half. It was the Eagles' defense that really saved the day there. So I would not be so quick to jump on, oh, Eagles, no, now they've won, now they're gonna keep winning, they're great. No, they're not. They still need that time to grow. This is not going to be the Eagles' year. However, they're going up against the Redskins, who have a lot of faults with them. Their defense is struggling, their offense is struggling. At least the last time in the Giants matchup, the Giants were able to really tear into them. So it's very interesting, because the Redskins defense was good for the first 2 weeks, and they just went who knows where they were in the last week. So I don't know. I'm gonna give it to the Eagles with their defense over the Redskins defense, and we'll see what happens. Maybe the Redskins can win that matchup, and that will be a shocker. It is at Redskins home, so who knows. Well, we're going to do that one first. Raiders against the Bears. man, there's nothing, no team more pathetic right now than the Chicago Bears, and that's surprising. I'm sorry, that's not surprising to me. I already predicted very early on that the Bears would get the first round pick. Remember, that was a bold prediction on my part, that the Bears would get the first round pick. They're playing horribly right now. They've yet to get a win. And many Bears fans, I'm sure, think that the Raiders are going to be their savior, that they're going to be able to beat them and then get their first win. There's no way that the Raiders lose in this game. The Raiders have gotten so good. Their defense has improved a lot. And then you look at Derek Carr and Amari Cooper and Michael Crabtree and Latavius Murray and all those offensive weapons have really come together. They have become a better team. The Raiders are a shocking team. I think they're a sleeper team, believe it or not, because I think that they have really just they're shocking us right now. They're 2-1. They finally have a winning record for once. I think they could beat this Chicago Bears team. We could see the Raiders at 3-1. I think that's what's going to happen. The Raiders are going to win that game easy. The Bears, they need to start making some moves, and they need to get better, whether it be this year or next. There's rumors that they might trade Matt Forte and Alshon Jeffrey, and my God, they're trading away all their good players. All right, Texans against the Falcons. This is the easy one. Again, the Falcons are just such a much better put together team. Definitely the Texans will challenge the Falcons defensively, but definitely not offensively. The Falcons are going to stop them. The Falcons are going to win this game. Boom. No question about that either. This is a matchup I'm looking forward to as well. Chiefs against the Bengals. You look at the Bengals, and they've been dominating. They're 3-0. Andy Dalton has shocked the world. He's doing well. And I can't overlook the fact that Andy Dalton looks more comfortable than ever in this offense that he has. So you look at that, and then you look at the Chiefs, and their offense is struggling. Their defense was not able to stop Aaron Rodgers, which I know Aaron Rodgers is much better than Andy Dalton. Much, much better. Not even for the same question. But if the Chiefs have been struggling so much on that defensive side, can they stop this really high-powered Andy Dalton with A.J. Green and the running backs and Giovanni Bernard and Jeremy Hill and all that? So I don't know. The Chiefs have been doing pretty well in defense. Hopefully they'll re-show up after being dominated by the Packers. But I'm going to give it to the Bengals. No question about that. I'm going to keep on repeating the same thing after picking every single one, if you don't mind. Oh, God, I'm so sick. All right, Browns against the Chargers. Look, Josh McCown played pretty okay last week, but he's still not the answer for the quarterback problem in Cleveland, and I just... you have to realize this. I don't understand why no one's getting this. A lot of people are realizing it. Apparently the team itself is realizing it, that there needs to be a change there at quarterback. If the Browns started Johnny Manziel with us this week, which I severely doubt, I will bet you right now that the Browns would win this game. But right now they're not. And I think the Chargers, much more put together team, and have been doing a little bit better than the Browns. So, I'll go with the Chargers. Keep on skipping ahead. Alright. A few years ago, this matchup would be awesome. But not this time around. The Packers and the 49ers, this seems like it's going to be a one-sided battle. I think it's going to be. The 49ers have been doing awful. Colin Kaepernick has been awful. The team has just been awful. The Packers are a much better team. This is going to be a blowout. Packers win. Alright. Rams at the Cardinals. This is a very big AFC West battle for the Cardinals. Because I think the Rams are a better team than the 49ers by a landslide. So now you look at this and do you think, okay, will this be the team that brings down the Cardinals? Keep in mind that the last two times that the Rams have met with the Cardinals, the Rams have injured both of their starting quarterbacks. So this is a scary one for the Cardinals. I don't think, or at least I hope not, that the Cardinals, and then let alone those two quarterbacks last year, just this past weekend, the Rams defense injured Ben Roethlisberger. So, I would be worried if I were the Cardinals, but if Carson Palmer stays healthy, which I think he will, it would be so ironic if he gets injured again. I say the Cardinals win that one. So, I don't know. I hopefully they won't injure him. Vikings against the Broncos. Well, this may seem like it could be one-sided, but I'm going to make the argument right now for the Vikings. Their offense has been much better with Adrian Peterson. He's gotten strong. That defense for the Vikings has gotten very strong as well. The Broncos defense is great, but their offense is one of the worst in the league. 30th. Their offense is 30th in the league with Peyton Manning at center. Like, how insane is that? For a lot of people that have known Peyton Manning as being one of the best quarterbacks of our generation, the fact that he's struggling so much is ridiculous. He's been able to do a lot of great things for the team thus far this year, but can he win against the Vikings? I'm going to say no. I'm going to say the Vikings are going to win. That's going to be my sleeper pick, my upset pick right there. I think the Vikings can bring down the Broncos. I know that is surprising, but I think that's what's going to happen. There is something about that Vikings defense under Norv Turner that is really fascinating to watch, and to see him tear apart the Chargers last week. I think that they could do the same against the Broncos, honestly, unless the Broncos defense gets the Vikings first, which I don't think so. I think the Vikings got this. Alright, Cowboys at the Saints. Man, NBC, this is, if only the flex scheduling could happen this week, right? You're a week away from that. You have to deal with the Cowboys and Saints matchup. Now, let's be honest. If Tony Romo and Drew Brees were starting, then that would be such an awesome matchup to watch, but they're not. Nor is Dez Bryant for the Cowboys, nor is the entire Saints team, because they've been sucking so much. I've been looking at the Saints, and they've just been playing so poorly, and I want to give this one to the Saints, but the Cowboys did pretty well under Brandon Weeden last weekend, and it just seems obvious to lean that way towards the Cowboys. However, to give the argument for the Saints is that Luke McCown actually played pretty well for the Saints this past weekend, and then you still got some good offensive weapons there. When you look at the Cowboys, they were good for the first half and they were bad for the second half. And I don't know, maybe I'm going to change my decision right here, because there's so much to dislike about the Saints, everything. And then the Cowboys defense is actually pretty good. I don't know. I'm gonna pick the Saints. I'm actually gonna pick the Saints. I'll go home field advantage here. That's gonna be a surprising one if they beat them. But I don't see this team going winless. I think this is their chance to get the win in prime time. Saints do it. 1-3. So yeah, maybe I'm insane for picking the Vikings to beat the Broncos and the Saints to beat the Cowboys, but it's maybe the illness speaking, but who knows? I think that they could do it. And last but not least, the Lions against the Seahawks. So this seems like an obvious matchup, but the Seahawks offense has been struggling big time, and I don't know if the Seahawks really have what it takes to go back to the Super Bowl this year. They've just been really slow to get out of the gate, and so have the Lions. I don't think the Lions can make the playoffs this year. They're 0-3, and against the Seahawks, they're going to go 0-4 in my opinion. The Seahawks are going to win this battle, easy peasy, lemon squeezy. All right. That's the end for my predictions for now. That only took 19 minutes. That's nice. Alright, well, anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching. I don't know when this will be up. Hopefully it will be up before Thursday's battle, but I have to get to editing this and everything, and since I'm sick, I don't really want to do a lot. Hopefully I'll get this all up for you guys sooner or later. But anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.